my people. It's time to collect the 3 most favored tributes offered by the community to be fed to the flames of creation. These 3 lore submissions will become major plot devices for the upcoming episode. I will also select honorable mentions to feed the flames as well. All chosen lore submissions will become canonized and added to the lore of Gamma Haven. Hit the like button or subscribe to ensure its success. Let's continue. The first flame required a form of communication, and the community chose Teleslabs by Rebecca Porter, a magically imbued rune that allows you to communicate with other rune-bearing individuals telepathically at any time. I see them being small, maybe only a couple inches in diameter, circular in shape, and with different rune arrangements based on user preference and such. They could also be used as radios or music players as well, allowing for mass communication from a source teleslab alongside a bunch of linked ones. Congratulations, Rebecca. I look forward to seeing how teleslabs bring order and chaos. Another honorable offering was The Origami by Mr. Cash, a piece of paper that can be written on and when folded into an animal will take on said animal's abilities. For instance, a bird origami would be able to fly. If you write the name of the person you want to write it to, the origami will bring it to them. Once the origami arrives, it will unfold, showing the person the message. The piece of paper, after some time or magical intervention, will erase the message and the fold lines will disappear, allowing the paper to be used again. Another honorable mention, MIBs, created by R-Type X. MIBs, or message in a bottle, are bottles filled with nanobite tech that when opened create 3D models of messages from the sender. Transportation of bottles can range from Futurama-style tube systems to portals created specifically for the MIBs to travel through. My personal favorite, Carrier Rodents by Pope Turner. Genetically modified rodents scurrying through the Undercity, completely indiscernible from normal vermin to the naked eye. Their customized genetic code hides any information that needs to be transferred. Moving on. The second flame required a title and/or rank name. The community chose Minister of Resources and Finance by Mr. Cash. Head of Haven Ministry of Resources and Finance. This position up until now has been a fairly low position, but with Haven now in detrimental need of resources, it has become one of the strongest positions possible. Its role in the city is to manage the MORNF, making sure that the city has enough resources and finance to keep the city's growth steady, and to buy resources when necessary. Another of its goals is to control the rest of the government's spending. For instance, it would control the amount of money put into the police force, for example. Congratulations, Mr. Cash. You couldn't have created a more relevant lore submission. Some honorable mentions are Haven Lord, created by Henri and Braxbro. It's funny because Henri just said the name and Braxbro built on it. Haven Lord. Officials appointed by the governor of Haven to manage a specific facet of Haven's operations. A Haven Lord of Commerce would manage the city's taxes, economy, and so on, whereas a Haven Lord of Defense would manage defending the city from outside intervention and keeping the peace inside the city. The Haven Lord role was created due to the fact that the city, now free from the dictatorial cycles, is becoming much too difficult to handle for the governor and his bureaucracy, so he hires third parties, paying them and giving them a title to assist in resolving these difficulties. Adjudicators, created by Edward Schaefer. Judges responsible for determining guilt or innocence, and then issuing a sentence. Grand adjudicators are the individuals responsible for the creation of new adjudicators, and the management of them as a whole. This was my personal favorite. Lots of good stories can come from something like that. Moving on, the third flame required a settlement. and the community chose The Nebby Haven Colony by the Villainous Guy. Shortly after the exodus of the Nebby people and the death of Epony, Nebu was left abandoned, yet more alive than ever before. Since Nebu was abandoned, many powers thought of it as free real estate and have attempted to set up haven colonies in Nebu. This has mostly ended in failure. The nature is alive and territorial. Colonies are not welcome, and the nature of Nebu intends to keep it that way. Congratulations, TVG, also known as Jeremiah Oliver. This is an awesome plot device and a perfect segue from season 2, and I think R-Type and Epony would agree. Honorable mentions: Zamina. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Zamina, created by Luke Sloan. Zamina is the current capital of Ray Lagar. As far as Havenite historians know, it has been the capital for as long as the Ray Lagarian nation has existed. However, nothing is certain, as Ray Lagarians tend to keep their history a secret from outsiders. The buildings of the inner city tower over those of Haven, while the outer city is populated by small flats. Zamina is located where the 3 largest rivers of Ray Lagar meet. The royal palace is located exactly where the rivers meet, and the rest of the city is built around it. The royal palace is a grand building with walls covered in carvings and murals depicting the history, at least what has occurred in the current cycle, and legends of Ray Lagarian people. The main entrance is lined with statues depicting the Ray Lagarian kings, while the main court is circled by altars to the elder dragon deities. Even though they are almost never used, Zamina possesses walls surrounding the entire city. It is believed that the walls have stood since the city was first founded and were erected to protect against the monstrosities of Monster Island. Zamina is directly governed by the king, but a high council of a select 3 clan leaders may be put into place to govern the capital while the king is out doing other things, such as attending to diplomatic matters, leading a war host, or being the wandering king. Riddling Heights, created by Mr. Cash. An area in North Haven situated in the Alta district. Built into the side of the mountain range, this town is known for its confusing and tight streets, secret tunnels hidden in the depths of its dark alleys, with one of the most compact living areas in the district, being a nightmare for any group wishing to gain traction in the area. Also, because Riddling Heights, like any other area, is a place filled to the brim with criminals and gangs hiding from the likes of the Haven Guard, Gate, etc. But also a shining haven for those wishing to explore its vast and complicated array of streets, tunnels, and unique locations hidden within the depths of town. Many wish for something or someone to come along to raise and rebuild Riddling Heights from the ground up, but for now, the town will stay as a symbol of anarchy and chaos in Haven City, the ugly city. My personal favorite, Camp Rust, created by Soren. Camp Rust is a massive, sprawling refugee camp located on the border between Haven and the former Iron Empire. Millions of refugees have flocked to this camp from the now worn-torn remnants of the Iron Empire. They live in squalor and are desperate for any resources that Haven is willing to give them. Most of the eligible adults have taken work as mercenaries in Haven, and as such have flooded Haven's mercenary market with former Iron Republic soldiers and conscripts. This has led many factions, both good and bad, to treat this massive refugee camp as a recruitment center. Most of the resources keeping this camp alive come from either charity organizations or the Haven Guard. The flames have been fulfilled. Now, I will meditate on what you, the community, have offered and begin building out the story arcs. Stay tuned.